Hello YouTube and welcome to Top 10 Splinter Cell Moments selected by Channel Hot Monkey. Before we commence the countdown, let's just get two things clear. Number one, this is based on a subjective fan opinion, so if you don't agree with it, that's perfectly fine. And number two, this is not a top 10 channel. I'm simply a huge fan of the franchise who recently did a Blacklist gameplay series on his channel, after which I thought, why not make a top 10 video? So please don't mind the lack of fancy top 10 effects. Without any further ado, I give you my top 10 Splinter Cell moments.
Sam, you need to designate the...
No point in rescuing one and leaving the other.
You don't even exist, Fisher. You can't get a medal for this.
Medals don't help me sleep at night, Lambert.
We start off with Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. In the 8th level, Sam is deployed in the capital of South Korea to obtain intelligence that could potentially stop a war between North and South Korea. After recovering the data, the aircraft used to transfer it was shot down before the data was purged. Because it was crucial that this intelligence didn't fall into the hands of the North Koreans, Sam had to designate the crash site for an aerial bombardment. For Mr. Fisher, this order was a piece of cake, but the thing that troubled him was the fact that rescuing the surviving pilots was not on the to-do list of his superiors. The player is given the option to disobey orders and save the pilots or leave them behind. If they decided to save them, they would hear what is probably one of the most memorable quotes of the Splinter Cell franchise.
Looking for me, asshole? No more playing around. Who sent you? Fuck you! Okay, enough.
Up to Conviction, Splinter Cell was all about sticking to the shadows, sneaking around and trying to stay unnoticed. Even Sam Fisher was a much more easygoing character who is presented as someone who takes no pleasure in violence, which, if you played the game as it was meant to be played, was always supposed to be a last resort. The 5th installment of the game turned all that upside down. We're introduced to a much more aggressive and violent Sam who would leave a blanket of ash and blood wherever he would pass. The brutal interrogation scene in the 1st level showed that this was a whole different character, a much scarier one.
You should refund his money. Where do I find him?
I can't tell you. I can't.
The first Splinter Cell game was a masterpiece by itself. Heck, a lot of the die-hard fans will still call it the best one of the franchise. At number 8, we bring the final level, which gave a perfect ending to an unforgettable gaming experience. The Presidential Palace stays one of the best Splinter Cell missions to this date.
Come by Nikolai's. And who is your friend? An American?
Ask him.
You will give us the Ark.
I am not God.
You will give us the Ark.
I honestly don't know what you are...
The evolution of Splinter Cell missions came a long way since the original game came out. Many of them offered unique gameplay experiences, whether they took place in scripted and linear levels or in multi-optional ones that came along later on in the series. The train level in the second installment of the series, called Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, definitely stays one of the most unique and fun missions to play. In its time, Double Agent marked the start of a new generation of Splinter Cell games. Being released for the next-gen platforms of its time, the game offered eye candy that fans of the franchise just couldn't deny. A moment of pure pleasure for game design junkies and gurus that stands out in particular is the one when Sam Fisher rappels down a skyscraper in Shanghai while fireworks light up the night sky above the Chinese metropolis.
Don't be afraid. I know why you're here. Believe it or not, I once walked in your shoes before I fought for a world. I fought for a nation.
Please. I'm sorry. I just want to go home.
Okay, so we're halfway through. At number 5, we finally have a moment from the last installment of the Splinter Cell series. In the second mission of the game, we are introduced to the main antagonist, Majid Sadiq, who shows the full extent of his ruthlessness by performing a cold-hearted execution of a young US soldier. Sadiq films the execution as a message to the Fourth Echelon team. The whole scene is actually kind of hard to watch, as it depicts a horrifying feeling of helplessness on one side and almost an evil lack of emotion on the other.
By becoming an example.
No.
I wasn't talking to him, my friend. I was talking to you.
The plot of Splinter Cell Blacklist in a nutshell. A group of brutal terrorists called the Engineers conduct a series of attacks on the United States and threat to continue them until the president brings every American soldier on foreign soil home.
Freeze! Hold it right there!
To stop them in their intentions, the president forms the Fourth Echelon team with Sam Fisher in charge, on field and in the office. Here, Fisher faces probably the biggest opponent in his career,
tenacious.
Majid Sadiq.
Where's Fisher?
Right behind you. Through the whole game, the Fourth Echelon team is almost constantly falling back behind the evil mastermind. Making one step forward and one step back, they finally manage to catch up to Sadiq in the spectacular final mission, which very easily could be one of the hardest but most beautiful levels of the series.
It's over.
It doesn't have to end like this, Sam.
No, but it does have to end.
In Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, we were shortly introduced to a side character called Doug Shutland. From a short conversation between him and Mr. Fisher, we found out that Shutland owned a security agency called Displace International and that he was a good friend of the Fisher family. In the dramatic storyline of Chaos Theory, Shutland turns out to be one of the main bad guys. When Sam finally overcame his denial, the two old friends confronted each other on the opposite sides of their barrels.
But the status quo doesn't work anymore. America's sick, Sam. She's dying. The politicians, the bureaucrats, the whispered backroom deals, it's all life support for a sick old lady who was dead a long time ago.
The only backroom deals that I've seen lately were made by you. You're a murderer and a war criminal.
Those are the only names the state has for the revolutionaries, Sam. You've only become a hero after the war is over. You know the truth. The world is built from the bottom up, not the other way around. Honor, courage, fidelity. We don't inherit these things from the world, Sam. We build the world from them. I know you. You believe in these things more than any government. And I know that because of it, you wouldn't shoot an old friend.
You're right, Doug. I wouldn't shoot an old friend.
What's the situation?
So, let me introduce you to our latest problem. Jamie caught him inside the compound. It's like he was looking for somebody, which pushes up our timetable.
At number 2, we bring probably the most shocking moment in Splinter Cell history. Working as a double agent, Sam gains the trust of the infamous John Brown's army, who are about to execute their master terrorist plan on American soil. Caught in the premises of the terrorist headquarters, the leader of Third Echelon, Sam's best friend, and probably the second main character of the whole game, Irvin Lambert, was put in his death seat. The man left to kill him, no other than the double agent he sent to infiltrate the organization. You guessed it, Sam Fisher. Even though the player is given the option to kill or spare Lambert's life, the storyline of the following installment, Splinter Cell Conviction, reveals that Lambert never left the compound alive.
The bomb. Stop it. Take them all out if you must. Whatever it takes.
So here we are, the moment you've all been waiting for. Actually, that's gonna be in just a sec. Before we reveal the number 1 moment of Splinter Cell history, let's just take a quick look at a few other memorable situations that didn't make the top 10 list.
Bad news.
I knew it! I knew there were ninjas here!
What?
Yeah, you must be a ninja. How else could you sneak up and grab me like that?
Listen, I don't know what...
Wow! I can't believe it! A real, live ninja!
Listen, I'm gonna kill you if...
Wow! Killed by a ninja! Cool! If you have to kill me, do it with your blowpipe!
Sam. Oh, you're just full of surprises, aren't you?
I do my best.
You're not cleared to be up here. I'm gonna have to report this, Sam.
Mixing business and pleasure can get tricky.
You're telling me. I'll tell you what. Next time, bring flowers. This time, I'll let you slide.
For Sam, one thing Third Echelon had always been about was the truth. Even after everything that happened, he'd held on to that. But now he was coming back as the hunter, as the enemy, as the one thing he'd never thought he'd be. And the truth, it was waiting for him.
Splinter Cell Conviction did turn the series upside down, had a lot of die-hard fans angry, but man did it deliver some awesome moments. So why is this one first place? Oh man, where do I start? This Splinter Cell moment just has it all. The emotional trip down memory lane revealing the dark history that led up to a moment Sam could have never imagined in his coldest nightmares. The tsunami of emotions being held back as he returns to the place he helped build, only to see the day when it crumbles under the burden of corruption. The ironical welcome home sign you see in the distance, the cool walk to the reception, the thunder and lightning in the scenery, the casual request for an appointment with a man who ruined his life, and then, probably the coolest moment in Splinter Cell history.
I'm sorry, we're closing the office early for some routine maintenance. Please try again tomorrow. Thank you. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid the office is closed for the evening.
I'm here to see Tom Reed.
Mr. Reed is currently unavailable, but if you'd like to make an appointment, Mr.
Fisher. I used to work here.
Security alert. Main power is offline. Emergency power will be online.
So there you have it. Top 10 Splinter Cell moments selected by Channel Hot Monkey. Now, if you're a huge fan of the series like I am, then it's perfectly normal and expected that you might disagree with the countdown. So please let me know in the comments what you think of it and what you think are the best moments in this amazing game series. If you like the video, of course, leave a like. If you don't, leave a dislike. That's just the way it goes. Also, you can share the video with your friends so that we can hear their opinion as well. And of course, if you already haven't, please subscribe. That's all for me. This is Channel Hot Monkey signing off.